If you look at the trading volumes and the number of users, everything drops like by say 60% or 70%, right?
This bear market, I'm still seeing a lot of builders sticking around, building like a product that people love to use, especially gaming as well.
Do you think AI can help in this?
Comparison of AI and blockchain.
I do think that the ownership would be one of very critical part.
What is good thing in blockchain is that we have a community.
In Web3, you building the whole economy around your communities.
But then, what even more important is portray the consumer who will pay for your business.
Cool. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, so I guess, let's introduce ourselves so that people understand like where we come from and our background, what led us into like blockchain, right? My name's Loy. I started being involved in blockchain back in 2013 as a researcher, right, at NUS, National University of Singapore. In 2017, I got out from my PhD and started Kyber as one of the earliest decentralized exchange for cryptocurrency. 5 years after that, got tired, got burned out, and stepped out from the CEO role. Now I'm building a new venture builder, right? Like helping new founders to build new interesting crypto stuff. Yeah, and panelists, please introduce yourself.
So my name's Giang, and the business I co-founded called Genetica, and I co-founded with two other co-founders. One is Tuấn Cao, the PhD from Cornell University, computer science. The other co-founder is Duyên Bùi, and she also PhD from Cornell University, a geneticist. We believe that the ownership of genetic data belongs to the user and does not belong to the company that do the gene test.
Great move to Thanh. Thanks a lot, Giang.
I started my first company at the university. In 2017, a lot of my friends introduced Bitcoin and this market to me. I met Vin at the times, and we decided to restructure Coinani to becoming a product companies. So we launched the first version of Coin Wallet back in 2020s. Yeah, and then 2021 launched the first token.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Chung. I'm from Rikkeisoft. It's a software company in Vietnam. So it's already 3 years old. We combine AI and blockchain. So that's a very long story, right? So I hope that I can say more about the AIs. Thank you.
I think we all know that we are suffering another, say, bear market, not only blockchain but also like IT startup in general, right? What do you think is the reason why we are here, like in this bear market? Do you see any differences like compared to the previous one?
Okay, let me go first because I was there in the last bear market. So last bear market for me is very tough. I think the last bear market we're trying to figure it out 0 to 1 moment. So we don't even know what's gonna happen. And then even if I have a strong belief in this industry, I have no idea of what kind of idea is gonna stick, and then what we should build and how to get there. This bear market is different. So if the next bull market is coming back, how can we make sure that we're becoming top number 1 in what we're building? But when I look back at the whole industry, back in 2018, there's not many builders sticking around in the bear market. When the bear market hits, the market quickly, the sentiment quickly changed from ICO investment, multi-level marketings, and gambling. This bear market, I'm still seeing a lot of builders sticking around, building a product that people love to use, especially gaming as well. So people are still enjoying playing games, especially SkyMavis games. All the games, like Cypher, going to introduce a new game soon. There's a lot more innovation like Frantech recently as well. So there's a lot of people still sticking around, building things that people love. I think there's a lot of hope that we can see, what's going to happen in the next bull market.
Now, every one of us here know that market has cycles. I think we all also very aware of is that there are fundamentals vs momentum. What leads to the situation? We talk a lot about Web 3 and now what is Web 1? Anyone have a definition, an example? So basically Web 1 is back early in the 90s when the corporate has their own website and then one side broadcasting on you information and that you can read about them. So what is Web 2? So Web 2 is where Facebook, you can actually create your own content. It's more interactive. So we in Web 2 for so long and so smooth. Then when it comes to Web 3, what is Web 3? So basically, it say that, for example, Facebook is Web 2, but then Web 3 means that everything you contribute there belongs to you. It's your ownership. Doesn't belong to anyone else but you. So why Web 3 is so promoted, we all become like the hive and the words of the conversation. There's, of course, economic incentive of why the hive is building. If I have to give one very blunt observation of what already happening in that market, it would be the tag of former private equity investor.
Interesting. Yeah. Do you want to add anything or?
Yes. Yeah. So I don't think this bear market is tough, right? On September we attend the token 2049. So you know that is there more than 10,000 attendees this year. And on the last day, the ticket price is already 3,000. I don't see that it's clear proof, right? When we attend the token 2049 last year and this year very incredible. Yeah, also we saw that it's a lot of infrastructure, layer one and company, right? They still very active and strong, right, in many aspects. So even in some top blockchain company in Vietnam, and they still have a very good condition right now, right? It's quite. They have. I know that you guys have this new office and everything. And the number of employees also increased, right, in many companies, and that's very good sign, right, for in blockchain in general, especially in the investment, right? I think it's still a lot of opportunity right now, right, for especially for the infra blockchain and in general. Right?
Obviously, one of the good things about bear market is that no one doubt if you are still building, right? No one doubt your intention because you are really in it for the tech. But if you look into the market, I think, if you look at the trading volumes and the number of users, I think everything drops like by say 60% or 70%, right? And I think in the previous panel, Jean also mentioned the number of active wallets in games, right? It's like a few hundreds of thousands of users. I mean, that's quite tiny, right, compared to the size of of this market. Where did the user go, right? Like what happened? Right, or like what are the other use cases that you think that we can bring back like the users and say tens of millions of users?
From what we are doing right now, and I think it's the UI and UX is very important, and that's why we focus a lot on the how to improve the UIs and UX to attract more user, even the non-crypto user. One of the most important solutions we are working on right now is social login, combining with wallet. And this means that non-crypto user can use their Facebook, Twitter, and Gmail, right, to log into any game, to any app. And the wallet's infrastructure, they cannot see anything, right, and everything is hidden. That wallet also implemented in the decentralized way. I think that's the more important right now, right, for any blockchain company, right, to focus on the UIs and UX, right.
Interesting. So I guess what you said is I think it belongs to account abstraction category in blockchain, and I think KyberNetwork just acquired some other startup that does something similar, and I think at Kyber we also just recently experimented with it. I think apart from account abstraction and improving user experience, what else do you think that we can do?
Yeah, I think we've been exploring this kind of challenges a lot at Coin98. So I think for user onboarding flow, there's two main challenges. One is the key management system so Coin9 wallet is a non-custodial wallet. So people need to back up your keys. You have to understand the concept that if you lose your keys, you lose your assets. This is a totally new concept to everyone's using internet nowadays. So I think that's a very big challenge. And that's also the reason why a lot of companies recently exploring solutions like account abstraction or social login wallet or MBC wallet that allows that building an abstraction layers that helping people manage the keys are much easier. And the second thing is gas fees. I think gas fees is it's a pretty inconvenience experience for users every time that they're trying to use a blockchain applications. Imagine if you're using a stable coins, if you're using digital wallet, every time that you send in the money, you don't even need to care about gas fees, right? So people can charge you the fees or deduct the fees from the currency itself. I think in the last couple of years, there's not many people that really focus on this. I think this is also a very big barrier to make people and the users feeling it's getting harder to get into this kind of technologies. And then I think the third one, I think it could be a killing apps. There's an hypothesis that written by Union Square Ventures that I really like. It's about the cycles of the infrastructure and applications go hand in hand, for every new technologies. And I think that the blockchain technology right now for the infrastructure, I think like we're not ready yet to onboarding 1 billion users. But I think if you building an application to have like few million users, the infrastructure already there. And then we are waiting for the next applications that can really better test and challenge the infrastructure until we're gonna have like a new that will be ready. I've been talking with Lợi a lot recently about consumer apps. I'm trying to find applications that can onboarding in the next like millions of users to crypto. I believe that would be the next big things in crypto, and maybe it would be come from gamings.
So I'm not a game expert, but then like if there's a model of play to earn, if the earn aspect is currently temporarily not there and the play aspect has to be really winning, then as you mentioned blockchain, also I believe that blockchain at the end is a technology. So we have to ask a very hard question. If these problems can be solved effectively and only by blockchain, if there's an alternative technology, it's almost always certain that the other alternative going to be working way better than applying blockchain for now. So come back to a classic, boring, typical business case of investing in technology, unless it's a very clear business case that blockchain or improving UX and UI is going to solve it. Otherwise, look for alternatives.
Interesting. I think last bear market, people talk a lot about, hey, we are early, we are like 5 years old, right? Like, infrastructure is not ready for mainstream, so let's just like focus on improving the infrastructure. But now people are all about, building the consumer app, building interesting, useful apps that people can use. If you look around in blockchain, I think there are more infrastructure than the number of like consumer-facing apps, right? So speaking of that, if you look at like Web 2, I think most of the popular application are like more on entertainment, right? Games, like live streaming platform, medias and stuff. But in crypto, I think most of the application are like, financial driven, right? I think people say like DeFi and NFT and also others, right? And even for games, I think previously it was like play to earn, right? So people actually were incentivized to participate and play the games. Do you see that we're going to see more, say, entertainment like use cases coming out of blockchain, right?
Yeah, 100%. One of the interesting experiment that we're doing research and also trying to explore recently is that how can we bring the blockchain to the entertainment industry. We all know that Web3 is all about like read, write, and own. I do think that the ownership would be one a very critical part, and that's the main reason why everyone's want to take advantage of the crypto and blockchain. I've been thinking a lot about like the concept of fan tokens recently, where there's a lot of if we take a look at the community of crypto, it's all about tokenized communities. And then if we can really bring all this kind of concept into entertainment industry, I think that would be something that like really interesting. But on the other side, a lot of people and a lot of projects right now working on bringing all the license and IPs and all the music and everything on the blockchains. I think that would be another interesting case studies we can take a look at as well.
Chung, do you think AI can help in this?
Yeah, blockchain can do a lot of things, right? So AI content right now is not copyrighted in US. They don't have the rule, right, to issue the ownership and copyright in US. But blockchain can do something, right? So we can record the process from using the AI model from Midjourney. We know that exactly the parameter, and we know the random and timestamp and everything, right? We can record on blockchain. So that could become one of the copyright for any owner, and they can use that copyright for any future. And I think that it could be the starting point for US. We also submit a proposal, right, to US government and see, okay, so we have some proof, right, for some AI content, and they can base on that to issue the ownership in the future, right, for any creator and artist.
Interesting. I think speaking of like AI versus blockchain, right? I think we have seen a few other attempts. People talk a lot about, say, like ZKML, right? Basically, zero knowledge plus some machine learning is very like advanced tech, right? But like, do you see that sort of like new technology will play an important role?
That's maybe the marketing keyword as well, right? Yeah, one of the wrong thing here is we cannot run AI on blockchain. We never, right? So AI is something is very uncertain, and it's very open. But in the blockchain, right, everything is immutable and somehow it's closed, right? In some kind of very static data. I think it's ZK you mentioned here is mean that it's some kind of virtual machine, right, running on each validator. It have kind of ability to aggregate the data, right? And they have some kind of ZK knowledge group outside, and they can prove that, okay, so this result from the AI model and the AI provider is correct. So that it could be the good thing right now. They use just some kind of compare, right? So that the result from any AI provider is good and good enough, right, to use in any smart contract.
I actually didn't spend a lot of time on that topic, but I think one of the main motivation for people to focus on or try to do like some sort of like ZKML is that, because if you look at AI, like all the models and data are actually controlled by like big tech firms, right? Like Google and Facebook and all these giants. And I think this probably like ZKML is an honest attempt by, say, people in the community and other developers to try getting everyone else involved, right? And everyone can co-build and co-own that sort of like model, which is very important for any AI algorithm. I think I somewhat agree with you that it's far from being practical, and for now it might be like just help them in fundraise and stuff.
I want to follow up on this because I want to ask the AI expert here. In your opinions, and what would be the use case that you like AI can be applied into the blockchain?
Yeah, we are layer one for AI, right? So we're still looking for a good use case right now. There's some kind of recipe, right? Comparison of AI and blockchain. One of the most important we're working on right now is we just at the report. We check the quality of ChatGPT. We input some data from the community, right? So they get a lot of test case data for us and put it to the OpenAI API, and we get the report. And any company, like Web2 and Web3 companies, they can base on our report to see what happened, right, on those models. Yeah, that is the use case we're working on now. And the second one is we call the copyright for AI content. So that I mentioned before, right? So how we can provide the copyright for user, for AI's creator.
You say that AI it actually belong to several big tech company right now. Also, they have access to high quality expandable data set. And also I agree with you is that now the question is really figuring out what is the application that can actually deliver user utility and value to the end user.
I think we all agree that probably like blockchain still needs some sort of like ChatGPT moment, just like in AI, right? I think like before ChatGPT, people also like the consumer, they barely understood what can they use, what can they do with AI. But after ChatGPT, everyone knows oh, I'm using ChatGPT, right, for everything in my work and stuff, right? But let's change the topic a little bit, right? Now we are talking about use cases and stuff. But let's talk about, say, the business model, right? Because I think it's quite unique in most of the Web3 companies. Because it's even unique in the fundraise, right? Previously, people do fundraise via, say, selling the equity, but now it's like token, right? And I think a lot of changes in also like how the product is run and how it monetizes from the users. Can you share a little bit, from your experience?
Okay, so my experience with launching a token. So we do, so for C9Day, a little bit background. So the first 4 year of Coin9Day, I self-funded myself and the team as well. I started Coin9Day in 2017. 2021, we started to do the first fundraising before we launched the tokens. We do have equity round, we do have token round. We launched the token. We even at a stage that we already released the all the token to investor already. So I think in tokens, and then this is something that I believe a lot of companies, especially gaming companies in this emerging market, should take advantage of blockchains and the power of tokenization to access into the capital market globally. Without crypto, I don't think the company like Coin9Day or people like us that have ability to raising funds from top tier VCs from the US or for anywhere in the world, and then we don't even have an ability to launching a tokens that trading at billions of volumes in the first 24 hours on Binance. When I take a look at the presentations that Annalyn already mentioned about the history of gaming's ecosystem in Vietnam, I do believe in a lot of the reason why a lot of game studios in emerging market, not only Vietnam, a lot of them focus on casual and hyper casual is like the cost of development is also low. So these games still can easily to invest and also like taking the profit back, and then you can repeat and cycle and scale. When you invest in and building like mid-core games and even AAA games, you need a lot more money. It's really hard in traditional to raise enough funding to just focus on building a product for a couple of years until you get into, before you go live. With crypto, you can even launch a token so you can use a token to fundraising. You can basically even like launching the tokens before the product launch as well. And then as long as the product grow, you even build a community and a user base before your product goes live. So I believe crypto and tokenization is really one of very good leverage and advantage that I think that every builders in emerging markets should leverage and take advantage of.
Anything to add, Chung?
3 years ago, right? So it's quite easy, right, to raise money. So we at that time we just list our token on Uniswap. So that is the liquidity at that time very low, right? Just 5,000 and crazy time. So we got almost 100x, right? So that is for our community. After that moment, so we based on the community fund and we everything right from our community using the money from community. But now it's not a good time for raise any money right now, and you need a real business and you need some kind of business model, right? Revenue stream before you can apply for any investment. You don't need to launch your token, right? Before you launch token, so you need to consider, so you want to sell your equity or you want to sell token. So as many investors, VC right now, they prefer both, and that could be the still opportunity, right? So you can sell both. So you can sell your equity plus your token, and token still bring some value if you can add a kind of real utility to your tokenomics.
I think Genetica has been raising.
So in Genetica, as I shared previously, we believe that your genetic data belong to you. So we issue a token. It's called the Gene NFT. And the point is to tokenize the ownership, recognize your ownership of your own genetic data, which later on enable you to participate in what we call the crypto economies, crypto genetics economy.
When talking about business model, the way I'm seeing right now is very similar than the last bear market as well. So in 2019, bear market hit, everyone started talking about revenue. Now I'm seeing the same. But when I look back, all the biggest projects in cryptos that having the highest market cap, even Ethereum right now, they just recently after they turn in the EAP 1559. Before that, they the revenue, the emission is still higher than the revenue. So even Ethereum is not profitable yet, and even Bitcoin as well. So Bitcoin is now in the emission phase. So it really makes me think that the way that we build in crypto is all about building the economy of your community. It's just if Web 2 is all about building the communities, in Web 3 you building the whole economy around your communities, and it's just I would name it micro economies or kind of building a communities economy model, and the token itself becoming kind of a ecosystem points or tokens that everyone's want to use within that communities. And if you see it that way, growing the communities and then let everyone involved, or kind of if you take a look at the whole cities or the countries, growing the GDP, how can you increase more productivities and bring more people to community, growing the whole economy as a whole would be create more impact than just focus on the revenue itself, especially when our community is very small. So it depends on if you want to build your projects becoming a business, or you want to just build a community that everyone's want to be a part of, and you want to grow the economy of that communities. And the more I'm building in crypto, the more I'm seeing that building the economy for your community even makes more sense to me.
Interesting. So I guess to briefly summarize, we need a good use case and try to leverage token, right, as a financial tool to fundraise and to engage everyone in the community to build together with you. I think many of us in the panel, in the audience are actually like, looking to build something, say in blockchain, right? Where can they start and what should they do now, right? Given this tough market.
So I think like building a Web3 startups is nothing different than building a traditional or any startups. You have to look for the problems and like you find a solution to solve the problems. Like building crypto is 100% the same, because at the end of the day, if you want to stay like sticking around, you want to be like, relevant in the next like 5-10 years, and you want to grow your companies, become big and bigger, you need to follow some kind of principles. And I think like solving your problems makes people's lives better, like trying to find a solution that help these people solving a problem faster, cheaper. That would be still the like core principle that we need to follow. And building crypto is nothing different. So there's like, just look after the problems that you see in a lot of people around you have, and then just focus on that.
Yeah, we need to find the problem. Think very hard, right? And one of the good things in blockchain is that we have a community. That thing where we can start at the beginning, and I think has chance, right? You guys can join in the blockchain, and you can have the idea, and you still have some chance to raise money, and it takes time. I think it's blockchain we have more open, right, compared to the traditional approach. And a good thing right now is a lot of venture capital and even layer ones blockchain. They have a lot of community funds, and that thing you can apply, right? And when the community, right, they agree that okay, so this idea is good work, and you can get the funding from that community. And I think that is very good way, right, to even small amount of money like 50K or 100K, right, still very good bootstrap for your projects, right?
So talking about building a crypto business or a blockchain business is about building a business. So building a business, I agree, there's a problem, but then I think what even more important is portrait the consumer who will pay for your business, and really test and try to find the first paid customer. If there's a problem and you all excited that blockchain is going to be the solution, I think it's important to talk among the board, your board, you have a board, or among your co-founding team, and really do a hard, honest exercise. If there is other solution, alternative, that you don't need to resort to blockchain and still can solve the problem, then go for that alternative. It will be almost always certain that it's going to like increase your chance of success, rather than just because you have a very beautiful technology at hand, you have to figure out a business case trying to justify the investment in that technology. Be careful of that trap. And I would say that after you find your or you hypothesize a few persona of potential paid customer, go for it as fast as you can, and then really go through the pain of product market fit and go fail fast and fine tune, iterate. It's just like how you develop a data model, and hopefully you get there.
Yeah, with that, I guess, we will conclude the panel here. Thanks a lot, all the panelists, and thanks a lot, Endeavor team, for having us.
You have to lay off 90% of your staff. Who you will retain?
I would remove everyone who is in charge of replication and keep the people who can create.
I realized that is when the company is growing, like everyone is happy, but when the company is not doing well. So that is where people start to doubt.
So the 10% who keep to serve the new vision, the new mission.
Who is the talent, the one that we can't live without that person?
Seems that we all agree that 80% of job will be replaced with AI.
That AI gonna be like one thing that our imagination.
Million or billion of people actually unmotivated. So the business is to motivate them.